Hello, and welcome to another full moon yoga class with me, Dee. Today's class is focused around the energies of the full moon in Libra. The zodiac sign of Libra is associated with partnerships, balance, diplomacy, and beauty. When it comes to the body, this airy sign is associated with the Anahata Chakra, or the heart chakra, and it rules over our kidneys, bladder, sense of touch, and lower back. With all this in mind, I've curated today's sequence to help balance the Anahata Chakra, the kidneys, and the bladder, along with a guided meditation on how you can further define a specific relationship, as well as how you can take partnerships of all kinds to the next level. This class includes pranayam, forward and backward bends, balancing, standing, and seated poses. For this class, you may consider having blocks or a stack of books, a strap, a tie, or a hand towel. The blocks can be used to help bring the earth up to you, and the strap, hand towel, or tie can be used to extend your reach in some poses. When you're ready, I welcome you to gather your props, hop into something comfy, and we'll get started. I welcome you to begin class in a comfortable seated position on your mat. You can have your legs crossed, one foot in front of the other, or if you'd like, you could sit on a blanket or block to help raise the hips. Do what works best for you in this moment. As we transition into this practice, I want to note that you are the master of your own body. I am solely a guide. If there is ever a time during this class, or any yoga class for that matter, that you feel pain, strain, or emotionally distraught, please honor yourself and do what is needed to take care of you. As you're ready in your comfortable seated position, Sukhasana, I welcome you to close down your eyes or have a soft gaze at a point a few inches in front of you. I invite you now to take note of the breath. Notice how it feels going in and out of your nostrils. Notice the subtle movements your body makes as you breathe. As you begin to take note of your breath, I invite you to acknowledge the land on which you reside and the people who have stewarded this land throughout generations. If you know the name of these peoples, you can name them now. If you don't know their names, that's absolutely okay. You can take time after class to do some research. I'll provide a link in the description box for a starting point. As you continue to notice your breath, let us also acknowledge the land of yoga's origin, India, and all the teachers and students who have kept the spiritual wisdom alive for us to be able to practice here today. When you're ready, you can allow your eyes to gently flutter open. We will now practice the Kapalabhati pranayam, or the skull shining breath. I will explain and model it for you first, and then we can practice it together. For the Kapalabhati pranayam, we will be breathing through the nose only. Beginning with exhaling fully, bringing the navel towards the spine. Inhaling, filling our lungs partially. Then, quickly bringing the navel towards the spine to exhale, continuing this forceful movement, navel towards spine, for about 10 repetitions. The inhalation will always happen on its own, so you really don't have to think about it. So as you practice, allow the abs to be in control, leaving the diaphragm relaxed. Also, please take your time with how quickly you repeat these repetitions. There is no need to rush it. In a moment, we will do 3 rounds of 10 together. But again, listen to your body. Only go as fast as feels good, especially if this is your first time practicing. I may end up doing 10 repetitions while you may only complete 5, and that's fine. It's important for you to start slow with pranayama practices. And on the very last note of this breath, I really recommend blowing your nose before practicing the Kapalabhati pranayam, and then keeping another tissue nearby for afterwards, just in case. Take a moment to pause the video here if you'd like to grab your tissue. As you're ready, let's exhale all the stale air out, bringing navel towards spine. Inhale partially, and begin. Exhale fully, releasing the pranayam. And allow your breath to become natural for a moment. As you're ready, we'll do round 2. Together, exhale fully. Inhale partially. Begin. Exhale fully, releasing the technique. Breathe naturally for a moment. All right, last round. Together, exhale fully. Inhale partially. Begin. Exhale fully, releasing the pranayam, allowing your breath to come back to its natural rhythm. I invite you to notice how you're feeling. Notice your breath, and if there's any difference between either from when you first started this class to now. We'll start working into some movement. Again, I invite you to tune into your body and follow what feels good for you. I am solely a guide, and this is your sadhana, your practice. On your next inhale, raise your palms overhead any amount. Exhale, place the right hand on the mat next to you, reaching your left arm up and over to the right. Your drishti or gaze can be straight ahead, up towards your left hand, or down towards your right. Take a moment to breathe here. Inhale, palms overhead. Exhale, left hand to the mat next to you. Right hand goes up and over towards the left. Choose where you set your drishti or your gaze and breathe. Inhale, palms overhead. Exhale, left palm to your right knee. Right hand can go behind you, touching the mat or on your lower back. Inhale, reach the top of your head towards the ceiling. Exhale a bit deeper into the twist. Your drishti or gaze can be to the right or straight behind you. Breathe for a moment here, and with every inhale, reaching the top of your head towards the ceiling, and every exhale, twisting just a tad bit deeper. Inhale, palms overhead. Exhale, right palm to left knee, left hand to the mat behind you or on your lower back. Inhale, reach the top of your head towards the ceiling. Exhale, twisting a bit deeper. Breathe here. Every inhale, head reaches up. Exhale, twisting. On your last exhale, return to center. Inhale, arms to the side, stopping at shoulder height. Exhale, bring left arm over the right, bending the elbows. Work to press the back of the hands together or attempt to wrap the hands around each other, palms touching. If that feels good, stay there, or on your next inhale, reach the elbows up a little bit higher, above your shoulders. Breathe. Exhale, release the arms, and we'll do the same on the other side. Inhale, arms out wide at shoulder height. Exhale, right arm over left, then bend your elbows. Stay here, pressing the backs of the hands together, or try to wrap them around each other to have the palms touching. Keep elbows at the chest height or reach them higher if it feels good. Breathe. Exhale, gently release the arms down and extend your legs out in front of you with your feet flexed. Inhale, reach the crown of your head towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinge at your hips forward any amount. Do your best to ensure that your back doesn't round. Hands can be next to your thighs, your calves, or reaching for the toes or ankles. Find what feels good here and breathe. On your last exhale, release the pose and make your way to hands and knees, or Barmanasana. Shoulders are over wrists, hips over knees. The feet can be curled under or the tops of the feet flat on the mat. Inhale, press your palms and your shins into the mat and engage your core. Hold this resistance for a few moments, and if you'd like, you can curl the toes under and raise the knees slightly off the mat for a breath or two. Exhale, gently bring the knees back to the mat if they were raised, and on your next exhale, release the tension that you've created. Keeping your hands and knees where they are, on your next inhale, allow the stomach to drop towards the mat, looking up. Exhale, round the back, pressing into the palms and shins, looking down. Inhale, stomach towards mat. Exhale, rounding the back. Continue this Marjariyasana and Vittalasana Vinyasa for a few more breaths. As you're ready, on your next exhale, release the flow and come to lying on your stomach. Place your arms by your sides, palms up. Legs about hip width apart or wider. Chin or forehead can rest on the mat. On your next inhale, lift your head, chest, arms, and legs off the mat. Draw your shoulders back and broaden your chest. Ground down through your hips and breathe in Salabhasana or locust pose for 3 more breaths. Exhale, gently releasing everything down to the mat. Take a round of breath here to rest. And when you're ready, place your hands underneath your shoulders and reach your hips up and back into Adho Mukha Shavasana, downward dog. Knees can be bent any amount. Hands can stay shoulder width apart, or you can move them wider. Find what feels good here as you breathe. If you'd like, you can join me in walking your dog, bending one knee and then the other a few times. Exhale, bring your hips in line with your shoulders, coming into plank. Keep the knees lifted and move through chaturanga, or gently drop the knees to the mat and slowly bend your elbows, bringing your chest down. Inhale, reach your shoulders towards your ears. Exhale, your shoulders down your back, reaching your torso forward and up just slightly. Elbows can be bent here in your baby cobra or bhujangasana. Drishti or gaze is towards the ceiling. Breathe. Exhale everything back down to the mat. As you're ready, make your way to Uttanasana, or standing forward fold, at the top of your mat. Take your time in getting there and be gentle with yourself. As you arrive in Uttanasana, your feet can be hip width apart or wider. Knees can be bent any amount. Hands can be dangling, touching the mat, or you can grab both elbows. Allow your head and neck to relax. Maybe you experiment with shaking it yes and no. On your next exhale, bend your knees generously. Inhale, slowly roll up your spine, allowing your head to come into alignment last. Inhale, reach your palms overhead, touching them together. And on your exhale, bring them down your midline to your chest. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, reach your palms towards the ceiling. Exhale your arms wide as you swan dive down into Uttanasana, or forward fold. Place your hands on the outside of your feet, and on your next exhale, reach your right foot back, coming into Anjaneyasana, or low lunge on the left. Your knees should be just over your ankle, and you can place your hands on your thigh, palms touching at your chest, or reaching them overhead. Your drishti, or gaze, is up. Exhale your hands down to the mat, and we'll do the same on the other side. Reach your left foot back in line with your right, and then gently bring your right foot forward, placing your knee over your ankle. Decide where you would like to place your hands, and breathe. On your next exhale, bring your right foot back in line with your left and come down to your stomach. Place your hands under your shoulders, and on your next inhale, reach your shoulders towards your ears. Exhale them down your back, reaching your torso forward and up. Elbows can be bent as much as you like. Drishti, or gaze, is up. Breathe here in your Bhujangasana. Exhale, release everything down. And on your next inhale, reach your hips up and back into Adho Mukha Shavasana, downward dog. Find what feels good for you here, and maybe you decide to try something different than the last time. You can spread your hands a little bit wider than shoulder width, or even spreading the legs a little bit wider than hip width. Explore. On your next inhale, bend your knees slightly, looking forward. Exhale, make your way to a standing forward fold or uttanasana at the top of your mat. Legs can be hip width apart or wider. Knees bent as much as you like. Exhale, allowing your neck and head to relax. And take a moment here to breathe. Exhale, bend your knees generously. Inhale, roll up your spine slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming into Tadasana or mountain pose. Arms can be at the sides, palms facing towards you or towards the front of your mat. Inhale, reach your crown to the ceiling. Exhale, ground down into your feet. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, ground down. We'll be moving into Utkatasana or chair pose next. And I invite you to find what feels good here. Your feet can be as close or as far away as you'd like. Bend your knees and sink your hips back like you're about to sit in a chair. Engage your core here and aim to keep your knees above your toes. Palms can be touching at your chest or reaching them overhead. And try to feel if your arms and neck are aligned with your spine. If not, do what you can to adjust yourself to get as close to this alignment as you can. Remember to ground down into your heels and breathe 3 more breaths. On your next exhale, straighten your legs and release the pose. It may feel good here to take a moment to shake out your legs. As you're ready, come to a wide-legged stance on your mat. Toes pointed outward, and your hands can be on your hips, palms touching at your chest, or you can bring your arms out to the side about shoulder height, bending the elbows and touching your index finger and thumb together on both hands. As you're ready, exhale, bend your knees any amount that feels good. If you'd like, you can try to bring your thighs parallel to the mat. Relax your shoulders down and back on your exhale and breathe. On your next exhale, straighten your legs. Inhale, bring your arms out to the sides, parallel to the mat. Bring your feet parallel to each other first. Then you can turn your right foot 90 degrees outward and your left foot 45 degrees inward. If you'd like, you can utilize a block here, placing it in your right hand. Spread your weight evenly through both feet, and on your next exhale, hinge at your hips, leaning your upper body toward your right leg. If you have a block, place it in front of your right foot. And if you don't want to use a block, your right hand can be on your right shin your foot or even on the mat in front of your foot. Your drishti or gaze can be up towards the left hand or down towards the right. Breathe here in Trikonasana or triangle pose on the right. Exhale, engage your core and bring your upper body back over your hips. We'll do the same on the other side. First, bring your feet parallel to each other. Then turn your left foot 90 degrees outward, right foot 45 degrees inward. Inhale, arms out wide, with a block in your left hand if you'd like. Exhale, hinge at your hips, leaning your torso to the left. Block lands right in front of your left foot, or your hand can be on your shin, your foot, or the mat. Your drishti or gaze up to your right hand or down to your left. On your next exhale, engage your core and return to a standing position. When you're ready, bring your feet about hip width apart. Inhale, shift your weight to your left foot and bend your right knee back, foot reaching towards your right buttocks. Grasp the outside of your right ankle with your right hand, and if that's not easily doable, you can utilize the strap here, wrapping one end of it on the foot and grabbing the other end. Stay here for a quad stretch, using a wall or table to help with balance. Or on your next inhale, reach your left arm up and forward. Lift your right foot up and backward, thigh parallel to the mat. Drishti is straight ahead. And again, you can always use a wall, table, or sturdy chair to help with balance. Breathe here in Natarajasana, or dancer pose, for 3 breaths. Exhale, gently release this shape, and if you'd like, you can take a moment here to shake out your leg and arm if it feels good. When you're ready, we'll do the same thing on the other side. Standing about hip width apart, shift your weight into your right foot. Bend your left foot towards your left buttock, grasping the outside of your ankle or using your strap. Stay here for a quad stretch, or on your next inhale, reach your right arm forward and up as you lift your left foot up and back. Use something for balance if needed. And utilize your drishti here, looking straight ahead. Hold this pose for your next 3 breaths. Exhale, release the shape, and take a moment to shake it out if you'd like. As you're ready, come to a seated position on your mat. Once you arrive, stack one knee on top of the other in front of you. If this doesn't feel good, you can have the legs crossed or one foot in front of the other. Raise your left hand overhead. Bend your elbow, reaching your left hand down towards the area between your shoulders. Bring the right hand behind you, bending at the elbow, reaching the right hand to clasp the left. If you aren't able to reach your hands together, try grasping parts of your shirt. or you can utilize the strap here, grabbing one end with one hand and then the other. Inhale, reach the top of your head towards the ceiling, your crown. Exhale, ground down into your sit bones. Draw your shoulders down and breathe in Gomukhasana, or cow face pose. Gently release your arms down and unstack your knees. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Begin with stacking the opposite knee over the other. And if this doesn't feel good, you can find your preferred leg position. Right arm up, bending at the elbow, bringing your right hand towards the area between your shoulder blades. Reach your left arm behind you, reaching your left hand to clasp the right, utilizing your shirt or a strap. Inhale, crown towards ceiling. Exhale, ground down into your sit bones. Draw your shoulders away from your ears and breathe. When you're ready, gently release your hands and then your legs. Find your way to sitting on your knees, buttocks near or touching your heels. And once you arrive, lower your forehead to the mat as close to your knees as feels good. Reach your hands back to grasp your heels, your ankles, or the sides of your leg. Inhale, lift your hips up and roll forward, rounding your back until your arms are as straight as feels comfortable. Breathe here, Sasangasana, or rabbit shape. Exhale your hips back down towards your heels. And for our next shape, you have a few options. Option 1, keep your buttocks near or touching your heels, and bring your hands behind you on the mat, fingers facing toward or away from you. Exhale, reach your chest up and push your hips forward just slightly. Option 2, come to standing kneeling position, hips over your knees. Place a block on the outside of each foot. Inhale, arms above your head any amount. Exhale, place one hand on the block behind you and then the other. Option 3, curl your toes under. Raise your hips over your knees. Inhale, arms towards the ceiling any amount. Exhale, place one hand on a heel and then the other. No matter which position you chose, exhale, reach your chest up and push the hips forward as you breathe in your Ustrasana, or camel pose, for 4 more breaths. On your last exhale, gently release the pose, coming back to sitting on your heels. When you're ready, come to Brahmanasana, or tabletop. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Once you arrive on your next exhale, melt your chest forward to the mat while sliding your palms forward. Keep your hips over your knees and you can place your chin or your forehead on the mat. Take a moment to breathe here in Anahatasana, or melting heart pose. On your next exhale, release the shape and come into your own balasana, or child's pose. You can have your knees close together, arms along the sides, palms facing up, or your knees can be wide, arms extending in front of you, palms facing up or down. Take a few moments here to rest. As you're ready, slowly and gently come to a seated position with your feet flat on the mat, knees bent. Once you arrive, begin to engage your core as you lean back, placing your hands behind you for some support. Lift your legs and form a 90-degree angle between your torso and thighs. Stay here, or you can try placing your hands behind the thighs. And another option is to extend your hands out in front of you. If you'd like, you can play around with straightening the legs any amount. And you can also try bringing your back to the mat, keeping your head lifted and bringing your legs extended very close to the mat, but not touching. Find what feels good here as you breathe. On your last exhale, gently release your body down to the mat, lying on your back. With your legs extended, place your hands under your hips, palms down. On your next exhale, press your elbows into the mat and lift your chest up. Allow the head to tilt back without strain, and if it feels good, you can allow the crown or the back of your head to rest on the mat. Allow your chest to expand upwards as you breathe in Matsyasana, or fish pose. Exhale to straighten your elbows, coming back to lying on your back. Let's take a moment here to take 3 rounds of breath at your own pace. As you're ready, bring your feet flat to the mat, about hip width apart or wider. Knees over the ankles, and bring your arms to your sides, palms down. On your next exhale, engage your glutes as you lift your hips up, chest up, and back towards your head. Press down into your arms and shoulders and reach your knees forward. Exhale, slowly lower your hips back down. We'll do that 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale, engage your glutes, lifting your hips up as high as you can, reaching knees forward and chin towards the ceiling. Exhale slowly back down. Inhale. Exhale, lift your hips again and breathe. Exhale your hips slowly back down to your mat. Inhale. Exhale, lift your hips and hold this shape one more time for a few more breaths. Exhale, slowly lower your hips down to the mat. On your next exhale, bring both knees towards your chest, giving yourself a nice big hug. And if you like, you can engage the neck by bringing your nose towards your knees. It may feel good here to rock back and forth. Find what feels good for you as you breathe. As you're ready, release this shape and extend your legs out long. On your next inhale, bring your left knee towards your chest. Exhale your left knee towards the right. If you'd like, you can place a block under the knee, keeping your shoulders connected to the mat, and bring your drishti or gaze straight up or towards the left. Breathe here in Jatara Parivartanasana, or supine twist on the left. Exhale, release the pose, and we'll practice it on the other side. Inhale your right knee towards your chest. Exhale the knee over to the left, keeping your shoulders connected to the mat. You can place a block under your knee if you'd like, and your drishti or gaze is either straight up or towards the right. Breathe. On your last exhale, release the twist and come to find your shavasana. It could look like legs and arms extended, sprawled out to the sides. It could look like your feet flat on the mat, knees bent. And you can also experiment with bringing the heels to the edges of your mat, allowing your knees to fall toward each other. Maybe instead you'd like to lay on your side using your arm as a pillow with your knees bent. Find a comfortable position to be in for the upcoming guided meditation portion of this class. Once you find your shavasana, I welcome you to close down your eyes or have a soft gaze and begin to notice your breath. Notice how it feels going in and out of your nostrils. Notice any subtle movements that your body makes as you breathe. And for the next few breaths, I invite you to notice if there's any tension, still left in your body. Once you find this tension, inhale, imagining your breath going to that specific place. And on your exhale, imagine that tension riding your breath out of your body into the world. Inhale, find tension. Exhale, release it. I now welcome you to imagine in your mind's eye a person with whom you have a relationship with. One where you would like to further define what that relationship is. This could be a romantic relationship, platonic, or even professional. Imagine this person standing in front of you. Notice how you feel in their presence. When you're ready, ask this person, how do you define our relationship? Allow the answer to come to you. Don't try to force or control anything. Notice your breath and be curious. If no answer comes, that's okay. Just notice your breath. As you're ready, allow yourself to process this answer. How does it make you feel? Do you notice any physical or emotional response to this news? Now, if you'd like, take a moment to explain to this person how you define your relationship. Notice if they show any visible responses as you share. Next, I invite you to ask this person, what can I do to help bridge the gap between the differences in our definitions of this relationship? Again, if nothing arises, that's absolutely okay. You can always journal on these questions after class. When you're ready, offer this person gratitude for meeting with you and release their image from your mind's eye. Continue to notice your breath here. And as you're ready, I invite you to ask yourself, how can I take partnerships of all kinds to the next level? Is there anything I need to work on internally to help level up these partnerships? Allow the answer to come to you and keep your attention on your breath. As you're ready, I welcome you to take 3 deep breaths down into your belly, exhaling out your mouth with an audible sigh. You can now begin to make small, gentle movements coming back to your body. Maybe you rotate your head side to side. Maybe you point and flex your toes. Move in any way that feels good. If you're not already there, I welcome you to bring your feet flat on the mat, knees bent. Roll to your favorite side using your bottom arm as a pillow. I welcome you to take a few moments here at the end of our practice to offer some gratitude. Maybe you offer yourself some gratitude for taking time to build your mind-body connection. Maybe you'd like to offer some gratitude to the moon. As you're ready, bring the top hand, palm down in front of your chest. Push into the mat to bring yourself up into a comfortable seated position. If the eyes are still closed, allow them to gently flutter open. Slowly begin to take in your surroundings, noticing any colors, shapes, textures. If you'd like, I welcome you to join me in Anjali Mudra, palms touching at your chest. Bow your forehead down to touch the fingertips. I thank you for joining me in this full moon in Libra yoga class today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe so you don't miss out on any future yoga classes. And I would really appreciate if you shared in the comments below how you got on during this practice. I really appreciate your feedback. Happy new moon, y'all. Blessed be.